Hello, what is up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here, and I am back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario vs Donkey Kong for the Game Boy Advance. So, last time we basically managed to able to win through, Fire Mountain Plus, in this case in World 3 Plus, which is pretty easy all things considered, but despite it gets a bit difficult due to timing and all that stuff. So today for this episode is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the next Plus world, and since that we've all pretty much at the halfway point in terms of the Plus worlds already, so yeah, it feels like we're going pretty quick, all things considered. So here we go, on to Spooky House Plus, in this case World 4 Plus. So once again, we're going back into a spooky house, like I said earlier, and this time around though, we'll try to deal with much more difficult puzzles now, and especially noticeable with tough obstacles along the way as well. So because of that though, with the addition of the forms of thwomps or flimps every once in a while, and also we still need to be able to look after Mini Marios every once in a while, so while holding the key throughout. Well, usually full likely Mini Mario holds the key after all, which that wasn't exactly the first time we actually just managed to able to, or this wasn't the only time that Mini Mario just managed to able to get the key, but they'll reuse that from the likes of the future games, ranging from the forms of Mario vs Donkey Kong Minis March Again on the DSiWare, in addition to the forms of, I would say, Miniland Mayhem for the DS, and I think possibly as well, Minis on the Move on the 3DS eShop, and especially noticeable with, Mario vs Donkey Kong Tipping Stars on the Wii U and the 3DS, or somewhat across platforms basically. So, yeah, that might be the only emphasis about the fact that usually you see, Mini Mario got the key, although the only game exception with that, however, though, it will definitely have to be by the forms of March of the Minis, because obviously that the regular levels on that game is all around just guiding these Mini Marios and just trying to take them to the goal and stuff like that. So, either way though, similar to the forms of Lemmings and all that stuff on multiple platforms out there, so ranging from the Mega Drive and all that stuff, which still I have heard about the series, but never actually get a chance to play them because, well, I've heard it's actually quite difficult from what I've noticed, so, but that's just me. So, a few things I want to explain for this point today, and that is the fact that today's day is, of course, the 2nd of December today, in this case in 2021. So, in addition to hopefully you're all able to experience that, not only do we get ourselves 23 days to go until this year's Christmas most likely, but also happy 10th anniversary of the UK's release of Mario Kart 7. Jeez, it's been a decade ago already, hasn't it? Especially noticeable, I think it already does that in Japan most likely, but in European countries, wowzers. That thing is now a decade old for Mario Kart 7. Despite the character roster is a bit rubbish, but apart from those side of things though, it's still a Mario Kart game I've recognized, but in forms of likely pretty cool tracks, as well as the forms of the best ever Rainbow Road has ever had, and as I mentioned earlier with the weakest character selection, because I still have no idea why they removed Waluigi completely, which as a result, it feels like Super Smash Bros. All over again, which now be also applies onto Smash 3DS and Wii U, and recently Ultimate, because after all, that's, oh, speaking of Ultimate though actually, is the fact that until 5 days time, that, the game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be 3 years old too, so yeah, that might be something worth noting for, and I, apologize with that tongue twist in the end, folks. That's only because I somewhat got distracted by the forms of those puzzle switches and what have you. So, now I believe, since this is the PAL version of this level, as you can see, the actual level layout, specifically in the beginning, now I'm pretty sure the majority of this level as well, the layout is somewhat different compared to the forms of the American version than the likes of the European version, basically. So I'm guessing it's that, well, specifically the beginning portion looks a bit different, So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm used to that though, because unlike the American version sometimes, despite the fact that I haven't exactly used my emulator for a while, because obviously that we'll save that emulator for the Game Boy game until whenever we get closer towards the end of 2021. I'm not telling you what it is though, because that'll be a super top secret, so... And I think this is what we're supposed to do here, and especially noticeable we can able to get the third and final present, thanks to Mini Mario right there, and, well, we can finish off the level like so. Even though it's important to know is the fact that we always have to make sure that Mini Mario stays in the bottom section the whole way through, because obviously if he goes back up, then not only does it waste your time for able to actually not getting a star at all, but also that you might guarantee that you might able to start all over this process again, so... Oh, so close to get 5 1-ups, but oh well, no big deal, not the end of the world. And we're still going back to 74 extra lives already, so... Alright, so here we go with level 4-3 plus, so, yeah, so you have to watch out for these little, those little dangers from the top, so... Yeah, for the most part, I think Spooky House wasn't all that hard. I mean, the only time it's difficult is until at the end, though, which, I know it seems a little bit obvious for able to mentioning that, just because, well, as I said before, that, you know, the game will get a lot harder as you progress, especially whenever we get into the expert stages later on, throughout the majority of this Let's Play, which, I can't even believe it, I felt incredibly bad back in the day for able to not, showing you guys the majority of those expert levels back in 2016, if I recall correctly, even though despite that particular playthrough, like I said, is no longer there, and hopefully for this year in 2021 I can definitely show you guys the forms of well, the expert levels after we're done with the plus worlds first, so oh boy, we got to come across into that boo enemy right there, and somehow, yeah, I totally forgot that the boo is in our way. Speaking of the boos though, this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing boos in this entire game, because, well, after this world is done, although we still only got those expert levels to go through first, so that won't be the true definition of able to experience the final time for this yet, so... Ah, dang it, the boo is in my way! I was hoping for Mini Mario we were able to get the final 2 presents down there, so... Oh well. Even though it's a shame I can't crouch, so, oh well, no big deal. At least unlike in, the majority of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and, I would say in Super Mario Maker 2, being the likes of the 3D world style, that's, basically, I think you do crouch at some form or another, even though it has been quite a few days, actually, since I actually last touched upon, although same applies to the forms of any other 2D Mario games as well, but, anyway, I have no words to think about it, so... Here we go, we've managed able to complete that stage at the very least, so... Nicely done. Oh, and also another thing is the fact that with Pokemon the Movie 14 A and B, because the reason why I say A and B together for that particular 14th movie, because obviously the plot is very much exactly the same depending on what version you watch, and also that I presume you get different types of Pokemon depending on what specific version you're playing, or the version you've just watched. So as a result though, that particular film is now also a decade old. Specifically, I would classify for saying ever since in Japan anyway, because I know it has been such a long while since I actually watched some of these Pokemon movies, because the last one I've actually watched is the most recent one, which is of course Secrets of the Jungle, because let's face it, it's basically Tarzan Pokemon edition, just because obviously with kind of a similar premise here, so oh my god, that was actually a close one, and I'm not exactly sure if my time itself just went slower than the likes of from before, but anyway, let's just carefully. Dang it, I was literally so close. In fact, we're almost nearly at the end anyway, for that particular stage anyway. I think personally speaking, the hardest part about this stage for me though is those flimps. And aside from all that stuff though, from the looks of all that, this level might not be that hard. It's just that you have to do a lot of thinking on this particular section, especially if you mess this beginning portion right there. Well, you have to do this whole entire process all over again. I should probably mention about this as well, that thankfully you don't kicked out of the forms of the level or anything, and just respawn back into the world's map or anything, because you just simply have to try again over and over and over again and do whatever you like. So, at least that's a good thing, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, that way it will be super generous when it comes to likely for saving portions or something like that. Well, it might be hard to explain, but slightly a bit further away from that particular, well, phantom guy block out, and yeah, that's not gonna help either, so great. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Okay, so I do know exactly what I'm supposed to do, for the fastest method anyway. That is, of course, trying to activate the yellow switch, and activate the red switch for, you know, Mini Mario to be able to get up there, and trying to climb back down the ladder, and activate the yellow switch, and then activate the blue switch, yellow switch, vice versa, until we reach at the forms of the blue switch, or the red switch, whatever, and that way we can able to progress. So yeah, very simple when you get the hang of it though, but I still found the flimps part is easily the hardest part about the stage, just because you will get screwed over just like that so easily. It doesn't matter if you either get touched by them, or if you let your Mini Mario get died from that particular flimps, depending on that particular pattern moves. And, well, you still might as well get life drained for the sake of the forms of this stage alone. But anyway, hopefully we can able to succeed this time, and hopefully with a much more faster attempt. So I think this is the fastest attempt that we could have done. Yeah, it is definitely one of them. So, but hopefully we need to go past for that particular flimps first again. So, still, this is very nerve-wracking sometimes. Even if you really want to go after every single presence throughout on that level, then, you know, best of luck trying to dodge everything. So, but there we go. Nicely done, even though I somehow managed to get 69 lives, or should I say 69 the dirty number, just because, well, I'm sure most people already know what I'm gonna say. But I'm not gonna mention right here, just because, oh goody, we got ourselves 5 extra lives. So, nicely done. And we still ended up back on 74 lives. Oh man, it just gets a bit interesting. But anyways, here we go on to level 4-6, and once again, those Thwomps and Flimps is back, so, oh god, it's gonna be one of those timing things, isn't it? Yep, it has to be dealing with the actual timing requirements here. Assuming if you really want to go after every single presence in this level, so, oh boy. I can see how this is going. So, I suppose that's pretty much as far as I can say. And I somehow accidentally... Oh gosh, Mini Mario almost gonna die by not only the blue phantom guy, in this case the ghost shy guy enemy, but also that he almost committed suicide to the spikes below. So it's like, almost like a close call, but somehow I was dead first, so... Ah, dang it! I did not mean to do that. Ah, oh well. Oh yeah, another thing I was want to mention is the fact that, you know with the forms of the regular Mini Mario levels that we've already done, ever since in the main, world playthrough, that, generally speaking, if you manage to able to let all of your, all 6 Mini Marios dies in that one particular level, thankfully your lives does not able to actually be taken if you manage to able to let all 6 Mini Marios dies during the course of that, well, in a Mini Mario level, because, well, somehow, if you manage to able to go, like, it's hard to say, because either way, though, I know it's been, quite a few days since I actually last played this, so, but there we go, we got ourselves a star on here, and I think we've only got 1 star left until, well, we can able to actually fully 100% everything in Spooky House Plus, and gosh darn it, because I have no lives to obtain, so... Darn you, Donkey Kong! Just darn you. Alright, so here we go. Speaking of Donkey Kong, here's the actual boss fight in Spooky House Plus, and it plays out exactly the same as the forms of how it does it on the main world, except that the only major difference is that they now added in, like, less platforms, and especially noticeable that we now need to rely on these little Sharpie bits that you can actually use as a platform, so that way you can able to... Ah, dang it, I just got ambushed already, so... Oh, that's a bit of a bummer, but hey, at least we can try again nonetheless. So, obviously the entire battle is pretty much exactly the same, aside from added difficulty and such. I don't think there's any spikes down below, I don't think, so it's just naturally that you have to able to be very careful not to, get hit like that, and especially noticeable that you... the only thing that's kind of annoying in this game sometimes, though, is the fact that there's gonna be a retro video game thing when you, so close. And speaking of, my lives counter is now back to 69 again. Oh, jeez. Dirty number than the... well, just anything, so... Yeah, anyway, about what the forms of the retro video game thing is the fact that if you get hit, and then you knock back, and then hit it, and then just smash that instantly kills you when if you, like, take the forms of Wall 3 plus boss, for example, that if you manage to try to get rid of as many of those sand blocks as you could, to make things a bit harder, and as a result, though, that, if you get hit by the forms of incoming barrels, or incoming, lava rocks by Donkey Kong, and then next you notice is the fact that the most annoying thing is the fact that if you get hit, you suffer from knockback, and as a result, it can actually knock you into the actual lava pit below you, and as a result, you instantly die if you somehow get involved with the lava trap. So, yeah, it's more likely a reference to a retro video game nonetheless, but hey, at least that's something I would like to mention. And also, I really love that Mario's got gathered around with a whole bunch of mini Marios just gathered around him. So anyways, that pretty much concludes World 4 Plus, and now we move on to the forms of World 5 Plus. And the line is pretty much exactly the same as the forms of how it does in the previous world. So we got the endings off at this point right here, guys. So join me next time on Let's Play Mario vs. Donkey Kong, as now we'll move on to Mystic Forest Plus. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Later, fellas.